Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to break down a fascinating and honestly a pretty urgent topic. We're unpacking the systemic and behavioral traps that keep everyday, incredibly hardworking people from building actual wealth. We're looking at the hidden mechanics of money that are literally just completely left out of our traditional education system. If you've ever felt like you're putting in all this intense effort but just aren't getting ahead, well, the source material we're covering today explains exactly why that's happening. 90%. Just let that number sink in for a second. According to the data, this is the staggering percentage of Americans who do everything society asks of them. They work hard, they get stable jobs, they earn decent money, and yet, after 10, 20, or even 40 years of nonstop labor, they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Decades of grinding, and they still haven't built any real wealth. It's an incredibly frustrating reality, and it's perfectly captured in the source material with this quote. In America, most people do everything right. I want to be super clear right out of the gate here. If you're struggling financially right now, it is absolutely not because you're lazy. It's not a lack of effort, it's not a lack of intelligence, it's simply because you were never actually taught how money works. The broken American dream. The illusion we were sold. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how universally familiar this sequence is. We are handed this exact playbook the moment we enter school. Step 1, study hard. Step 2, get good grades. Step 3, get a stable job. Then buy a house and finally retire happy. Sounds completely logical, right? But the source reveals that this exact comfortable sequence contains a massive mechanical failure. And here is that flaw laid bare. That traditional dream focuses entirely on earning money, but it teaches absolutely nothing about building wealth. The system silently traps us by creating this huge false equivalency. It kind of makes us grow up believing that simply getting a high salary automatically means you're going to become rich. But as you'll see, earning money and keeping money are two completely different skill sets. The two hidden traps. Exposing the mechanical failures. Trap number 1 is lifestyle inflation. You probably know exactly what this feels like. By definition, this is when your expenses automatically grow to match your increasing income. The second people start earning a little more, their lifestyle just immediately scales up to absorb it. A new car, a slightly bigger apartment, maybe a more expensive social life. This means that even when people get that big raise or that better paying job, they don't actually save any more money than they did before. They just upgrade their life and stay exactly at zero. And then, boom, we hit trap number 2, the debt cycle. This is where the math really turns against you. Credit cards are literally designed to make spending feel completely effortless. Car loans stretch out payments for years just to make incredibly expensive, depreciating things look perfectly affordable on a monthly basis. And student loans? Well, they practically guarantee that millions of people start their adult lives already in what the source calls negative money, way before they even clock in for their first day of work. Which leads us directly to this harsh reality. When a massive chunk of your income goes strictly to EMIs, equated monthly installments, for all that debt, you're no longer building a future. You are literally just surviving payments. Month after month, your hard-earned money is completely spoken for before it even hits your checking account. Why saving is not enough. The silent thief. So you might be thinking, okay, the simple answer is just to avoid debt and aggressively save my cash. Well, the fundamental issue with that old school financial advice, the idea that you can just squirrel away cash in a savings account and become wealthy, is that it completely ignores the cost of living. That silent thief is inflation, and it is always working in the background. Because the cost of living goes up every single year, the real purchasing power, the actual value of your saved money, is constantly going down over time. And this perfectly explains the immense frustration we see echoed in the source material. I'm working more, but still not moving forward. It hits the nail on the head regarding working class reality today. You can be saving diligently, skipping those vacations, doing literally everything right, and still feel entirely financially stuck. And why? Because inflation is silently draining the value of your labor right out the back door. The paradigm shift. The real difference between rich and poor. So what does this all mean, and how do we actually fix it? Well, it requires a complete paradigm shift, and this brilliantly illustrates the core revelation of the source material. The difference isn't just about how big your income is, it's fundamentally about how different groups think about money itself. The poor and middle class rely on a linear equation. They exchange time for money. You work a 9 to 5, you get a fixed salary. You stop working, the money stops.
But the rich operate completely differently. They focus their energy entirely on assets. They build businesses, investments, systems, passive income streams. Their ultimate goal is to set up a structure where even when they're sleeping or on vacation, their money keeps working for them.
Now, here is a pretty sobering realization. The financial system isn't actually broken. Actually, scratch that. It functions exactly as intended. The system naturally rewards those who have financial education, while keeping those who don't stuck in this perpetual survival mode. It's really not a matter of raw intelligence or who sweats the most physically. It's entirely about having the right financial education.
Escaping the survival cycle, the actionable blueprint.
So, how do people actually break out? Honestly, it's remarkably grounded. You have to start small and completely forget about overnight riches. That is just another trap. Instead, you've got to treat money like a subject to actively study. From there, aggressively reduce your consumer debt so you aren't just surviving those monthly payments. Build a side income to break your absolute reliance on a single fixed salary. And finally, invest consistently. These incremental, everyday steps are the actual tools you need to shift out of survival mode and into real wealth building. So the crucial point is this. To successfully apply those tools, you have to undergo a total mindset shift. Stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a builder. An employee asks, how can I trade my next hour for a few dollars? But a builder asks, what system or asset can I build today that will pay me for years to come? We really have to acknowledge this reality. Look, hard work is absolutely crucial. There is no doubt about that. But the narrative here is crystal clear. Hard work alone is simply not enough anymore. Without financial literacy, all the hard work in the world will not guarantee you a secure future. You absolutely have to combine your sweat equity with the right strategy. Which leaves us with this massive, definitive question to ask ourselves today. Are you working for money or is money working for you? Think really carefully about your answer, because it pretty much dictates the entire trajectory of your financial future. Let that sink in and start building your way out.